breaking news from Cultaholic about AEW's new young talent initiative that continues to survive and thrive as AEW have officially signed on the dotted line a multi-year deal with the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Woo!
Styling and profiling to All Elite Wrestling. So, we're going to get into the weeds on this, right? Because there's been a mixed bag of things to talk about here today. We're going to talk about what this deal entails. We're going to talk about how it came to pass. We're going to talk about the reaction to it, which, as you can tell by the title, hasn't been overwhelmingly strong. But it all began last night. Tony Khan officially announcing Ric Flair has signed a multi-year deal with AEW. He said so in a press release as well, didn't he, Andrew?
He did, yes. He said Rick cemented his legacy of one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time long ago. And now his world-renowned persona and his amazing wrestling mind will be a major asset to AEW's programming and our position globally. More importantly, it's fitting that the final chapter of Sting's iconic career will unfold on TBS with Ric Flair by his side.
Now, along with this multi-year deal, Ric Flair's woo energy drink, I'm going to say it right now, that's a marketing nightmare because I keep getting the number of O's wrong.
I swear it shouldn't have been the energy drink. It should have. Do you remember his wings? Woo wings!
It should have been just everybody just covered in chicken grease.
Oh my God, yes, please.
Ric Flair's Woo energy drink will become the exclusive energy drink of AEW, being carried at concession stands at select host venues. It'll be in the locker rooms everywhere, and it'll be on announcers' desks during live broadcasts. Chad Bronstein is the president of Karma Holdco. They're the parent company of Woo Energy. And he said that this was a big old deal, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He said, we've all been part of a woo moment. How many times are we going to do that in this video?
So many.
Time stops, crowd erupts, and people unite to celebrate the extraordinary. It's electric. You hear it, feel it, and never forget it. This is so much more than a partnership. Together, Ric Flair, AEW, and everyone at Woo Energy will create more unforgettable moments for generations of wrestling fans.
I love the socks that you give the Woo.
Oh, you've got to give it some socks.
Got to give it some socks. So this deal, right? So you can gather there is more than just a wrestling contract in play here. Fightful Select gave us more, saying sources close to Flair told Fightful that the deal is actually very similar to one that Randy Savage signed with WCW in the mid-90s. Obviously, you can watch all about this on the Cultaholic Classic Nitro review with myself and Sam Driver on the Cultaholic podcast feed. So this deal that they signed in the mid-90s was a sponsorship co-pro with Slim Jim. You know, because it was something they started doing, Savage started doing in the WWF.
Yep.
Snap into a Slim Jim. And then when he left the WWF, eventually Slim Jim went with him and it became part of the deal that he signed. It was a kind of a, part promotion of that one. Part of getting Flair was procuring a deal with the Woo energy drink that would cover a significant portion, if not all of, Flair's salary in All Elite Wrestling. So they're kind of paying the company who are paying Flair.
Yes.
That's kind of how this works. It's a very different deal to like the one that Dralistico signed earlier this week.
Yeah, it is.
He hasn't got an energy drink, has he? Now, it turns out that this deal isn't something that was offered bespoke to All Elite Wrestling, as Ric Flair told Mark Raimondi on ESPN.
Yeah, he said, as a courtesy, we ran it by the WWE and they have so much going on. No fault of anybody's, but with the merger and all of that, they have so much going on that they kind of just moved past it, in other words. It was no disrespect to us whatsoever. They just weren't doing anything at the time. So I ran it by Tony Khan, and Tony called me, and I put Chad on the phone, the brains behind it all, and here we are, man. I think it'll air for the first time this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, so we will probably see it on Wednesday.
Yeah, as it says so. Ric Flair has done the media rounds essentially since the announcement late yesterday, yesterday. He told Variety magazine when it comes to the reaction from within WWE for his move across to AEW, he says, "I don't think anybody at WWE begrudges me. I've earned their respect and I respect them. I haven't heard one negative word from anybody over there because I feel that I've earned the right to go out and do what I want to do." We haven't heard, at time of recording, one negative thing from the WWE locker room, but we've certainly heard some negative things online about it. So Ric Flair started trending on socials last night when this news came out. The reaction, to be really polite, wasn't overly positive to this signing. So many took issue with the fact that Flair doesn't really add value to the product. Many also brought up some of the hypocrisy with Tony Khan hiring him. It was only a few weeks ago that Tony Khan was calling out some of the indiscretions and trespasses of Vince McMahon, and then he signs Ric Flair, somebody who isn't short of a few indiscretions and trespasses himself.
Yeah, obviously there was the whole thing about the Plane Ride from Hell documentary that went out as well from Vice, Dark Side of the Ring, and there was that whole thing there of I believe AEW were perhaps, was it AEW that were thinking of signing him, and then they like cooled off it when that came out, and they were like, okay, no, I don't think this is the right move. Well, it was, I mean, I think it was, we might have reported it last week where they said it was,
Flair
wasn't
did
it?
indeed say, oh yeah, this was something we were going to do a few years ago, and then that documentary about Vice came out and everything got cooled. Well, it seems as if it's all completely cool because he's now within the company, and you know, and it hasn't been overly positive. I think a lot of people have noticed there is a bit of a pattern emerging currently with AEW, where obviously, with some exceptions, for example, Drillistico, which we reported yesterday, they do tend to be hiring and booking to an older fan base now. Something that a lot of AEW fans criticize WWE for. And
I think that's it. I feel like it's perhaps maybe even veering off more in AEW's direction than it is WWE's as of late, at least anyway.
It feels that way. Now, there are also, it's not all negative online. There are many that are tweeting that they're fine with the signing, providing that Ric Flair doesn't wrestle. And he's satisfied with a managerial role, maybe managing someone like Andrade, maybe even managing Sting. He told PW Insider that he wasn't planning to wrestle during his time in AEW, but of course he would like to.
Oh, no. Don't do it. No. Don't have that feastings last match, please.
So how long is Flair going to be in the company for? Well, he revealed that to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio.
He did, and Flair revealed that his deal is for 2 years. Flair confirming that he'll be part of AEW TV until the end of 2025. This means his role in the company will continue beyond Sting's retirement.
He was brought in as Sting's present.
Yes, he was.
He said, I want to ride this farewell wagon with you. So he's gonna follow Sting's retirement, and then when Sting retires, he's just gonna keep going.
just endlessly wandering. No, maybe it is in a managerial role. I feel like that would be, if not just for the brand deal and everything, you know, and all the sponsorships and this, that, and the other. If not that, then maybe, yes, we see him on TV with Andrade, perhaps.
For all my opinion's worth, which is about this much, right? I take great Dolores umbrage with Ric Flair sort of attaching himself like a limpet to Sting's retirement story.
Well, maybe
I just think because I'd like to have seen Sting's retirement, and Flair seems like, based on sort of last week, Flair came in and went like, hey, me and you were going to retire. And I was like, well, no, it's like, I think I mentioned this last week with you. It's like having a birthday party and someone else comes in and goes, today's my birthday as well. So now this is our birthday party.
I completely, I do agree with you there.
Happy to be wrong.
But I wonder if Sting maybe was vocal in wanting Flair to be part of it as well.
It could be something that Sting wants to do.
I think Flair sort of, in a way, helped Sting get to where he was as well in wrestling with the rivalries that they had. Maybe Sting was like, look, maybe we could do something together and make it something special.
I say, it's my opinion, it's worth that much. And if it's something that Sting really wanted to do and make magic with, then I'm gonna just sit down. I'd rather be happy than right. Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So the big question is why? Why is Ric Flair part of AEW now. Now, Fightful Select say, when asking AEW sources about the motivations of having Flair on the roster beyond what you see on the surface, merchandising was cited as a big possibility. Between video games, action figures, and general merch, those are seen as big openings for the usage of Flair if those are a part of the deal. And that is something that I think anytime you hire a legend in wrestling is taken into account. Like, there is, if you pitch it right, there's some big money to be made by using their likeness on everything. That's why WWE has legends deals.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I feel like maybe since Punk has gone, there may have been a huge gap in that merchandising for AEW, since he was like such a huge part of it. Obviously now we've got Adam Copeland there as well, and Ric Flair in there too. It feels like they're trying to sort of fill that a little bit and get back to maybe where they were with Punk. Even I don't know.
And and obviously the way in which the deal is structured maybe is a bit nicer for AEW's financials than it would be otherwise, because it seems like it's a kind of co-pro sponsor type thing where they're paying the company to pay Flair. So whether or not legally or financially or fiscally that fits differently, I think probably Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics would probably be the true guy to speak to on that one. Go and seek him out and give him our love when you do so. But that's the big story in our video. For our first video of the day is, of course, Ric Flair's signing with AEW. Would love to know what you think on it, and you can let us know all about it in the comments down there. The small matter of Crown Jewel this weekend. Tomorrow, WWE are in Saudi Arabia right now. 9 pitches on the channel for you.
Yeah, 9 pitches. You've also got predictions from myself and Adam Pacitti as well. You'll have what happened after the show. I believe Ross is doing WTF as well. Oh, it's a big old weekend of wrestling.
A big weekend of the wrestling. And for the latest news from it, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Woo.